Job Guys is about two brothers that have decided to start their own hitman business, but they're not very good at it. And so our series begins when they decide to hire some additional help in the form of Janet, who is their secretary.
Yeah, good job on that, Captain Quiet.
All right, out here is where we shot the film.
I've always been a director. I've known I wanted to direct movies since I was 5, and I saw Jurassic Park in theaters. And so I've always kind of worked on a lot of my own self-produced things.
How is it you can teleport?
Same way you can, Spencer. The fox.
I first got into writing, at least just as a hobby, when I was probably about 11 or 12 years old. It was more kind of escapism than anything else. I was always a big fan of movies. Even as I was auditioning for other things, it was never just about waiting for someone else to say yes. I always had kind of my own thing or our own thing that we could then put our energies into.
I originally got involved in acting almost by chance. I had done it in high school, and it was something I kind of got away from. I was playing music for years throughout my 20s, and then they were doing a casting back in my hometown of St. Louis. Shot a pilot for the Lifetime Network. It didn't get picked up, but it did create that urge to want to be on front of camera, and that's whenever I decided to make the move to LA and pursue it full time.
Kevin Caliber has been a good friend of mine for years. We originally met on a film set.
We always just kind of got along. He was just one of those people that I could sit there and talk with for hours and it helped the day go by. Every time you're on set, you always have that set friend. And off of set where we started hanging out and just getting together with the guys, and I knew he was a writer. I'd wanted to do more character work, and we started doing little projects together.
Well, kid, you may be a total kook, but you earn yourself a drink on me.
I started doing something that was called the low-budget scene shop, where I'd gotten just kind of a cheap digital camera.
This says that your name is Ansem, with an N.
No, it's awesome. The W is silent.
Write shorts that could be done simply on one location, get shot in one day, very simplistic. And Kevin was also interested in doing his own projects as well. So after helping each other on kind of separate things, and I approached him with the idea of, hey, we're doing this anyway, so why don't we actually codify it, give it a name, and actually really try to put resources into it. The first one officially was The Deal. It was a short film where my character was kidnapped by the mob, who are accusing me of being an assassin. Kevin was the heavy hitter for the mob, who's beating the shit out of me for a good 10 or 12 minutes. The one after that was called The Best Laid Plans. It was a comedic bit about these really bumbling bank robbers trying to plan a heist that doesn't go well. And then following that was Game Night, which was an idea where this guy invites some friends over for a game night and then takes them all hostage and tries to get them to join a cult.
I directed Game Night for Kevin and Dave.
Me and Brook are roommates.
I had known Brook previously, but that was the first time I had worked with him, and that went really well.
And he was just instantly part of the team.
And that was kind of subtly where the origins of Job Guys ended up kind of finding its root.
And in it, almost playing the same type of character. May as well be the same character. It was a very, very small role. It was just a Craigslist thug for hire.
They were going to be his bodyguards, and they will defend him to the death. Well, they were not about to defend anything to the death. So, of course, for a bottle of whiskey, they turn on him and knock him out at the end of the film. Spoiler alert.
Dibs on the whiskey.
We're sharing that.
One of the sound guys, it was a friend of mine, Ryan Niss. He was our sound guy on set helping out that day, and me and him got into talking about it. He's like, see, I want to know about those two guys in the corner that barely said anything. I was like, yeah, that's absolutely. If you were going to expand on any of the people from that project, that'd be the one to do. Brought the idea to Dave, and we pitched it as, what about if it's just about these two guys?
And I was like, what if we called it Job Guys? And Ryan was like, I love that title. Kevin and I are also big pro wrestling fans. It has a bit of a double meaning in that way. So the fact that they call themselves that is also a bit of an inside joke.
So they asked me if I would come back to do the series, and I really wanted to be a lot more involved in the creative process of it, and so I took on a role not just as director, but also helping to produce it.
We're just going to do 6 easy episodes that we'll just blow out real easy.
Then the idea was pitched to expand it to 10 episodes.
As we got into it, we just wanted it to be bigger and better and add action. If we had a scene here and we had a scene there, what about if we went to this place, there's more people? And it quickly turned from 3 people in an apartment into a full-blown series that what we have today.
You're doing a screenshot.
And then in editing, we realized it flowed better and it just worked better structurally to then make it 12 episodes.
This is the biggest project I've ever taken on personally, and it's been so much work.
What a day.
We've put hours and hours and hours into this, but I wouldn't have it any other way. To be able to work with such a creative team like this, where everyone puts so much energy and time into this, it's been a fantastic experience getting to do this with everybody else.
Why? I got into acting from an early age. I did Annie when I was in 5th grade. I was Annie. And I just liked performing. And then I was a film student in college. Just friends were asking me to help them out. Can you be in this? And I really enjoyed it. So it kind of just was by accident.
We had done a short film together years ago. And ever since then, I'd always wanted to work with her again. Leesa's, first of all, she's just great to have around. We wanted people on set that we would enjoy spending a considerable amount of time with.
Leesa's a great actress. She's an improv master. She makes everybody around her funnier. I've worked with Leesa so many times, met her 7-8 years ago on set. I would recommend her for anything. She was supposed to be in Game Night.
Dave wrote the script and somehow magically thought of me, which is very flattering.
Leesa's hilarious. She's incredibly funny. She has a tremendous sense of comedic timing and will bring a lot to a scene that isn't necessarily there on the page.
Leesa is such a positive energy, and she's such a funny person. She's so fun to be around.
So I've been involved kind of from the get-go, but I don't have anything to do with it creatively.
And that's your out.
If it's bad, it's not my fault. No. Sorry, I just realized this wasn't up. Sorry, guys.
I loved movies. Me and my mother used to go see movies constantly. It was like our thing to do together. And I just started to fall in love with everything about them and decided I wanted to be an actor about 14. None of my schools, middle school, high school, had a drama department or anything like that. So I started by singing and then went to college for theater and just kept going.
I had first met Brandon also on a set years ago, and we had, again, hit it off really well.
We both were military, and it was really funny because we bonded over the fact that everything they were doing was wrong.
A lot of times when you meet people on sets, you always kind of get the, hey, we should do something together. And it's like, yeah, okay. And then that absolutely never happens. But with Brandon, it absolutely did. He called me, I want to say, within a week or two of that.
I ended up doing a horror film, and I asked Dave to be in it, and thank God he was.
I was like, yeah, absolutely. So we did that. Brandon ended up directing it as well as acting in it. So I got to act with him as well as work with him in a director's capacity there. That one was Hack House.
Then I had gotten asked to direct a short film, Best Laid Plans, after the horror film. And that's how I met Kevin and got to work with him the first time.
And whenever it came to the part, we knew we needed somebody that was willing to go there. Just put it all out there, not hold back.
So when we were looking for the role of Herman, we wanted somebody that would be very much a polar opposite type as Kevin.
Dave Beaudrie called me and said, there's a part for you in this project that we're starting up, and I'd like for you to come read for a part. So I came over and read for a part.
They had that rapport, and that was evident immediately.
Oh, I didn't know actresses typically came with new photos. You saw that.
The character itself is a tough character, and it's really easy to fall into a cartoonish type factor, and Brandon doesn't do it. He still keeps it level, keeps it grounded.
Let's do this.
That was the first time I'd ever met him. As we got to know each other better, I adore him as a person. He's just been the best to work with on this.
Brandon, how you doing over there? I'm great.
Being able to direct with such a great team that's very open to ideas, but also bring a lot of their own creativity to this project has made my job actually quite easy. And then all I really have to worry about is making it look good.